After watching the February 26, 2021 Pokemon Presents, I am very satisfied with what was shown for the Diamond and Pearl remakes. I am a huge fan of the style that they decided to take this game, but that's just in my opinion. And looking at the YouTube comments for the reveal, it's actually split on whether it looks good or not. Now I'm just here to say why I personally like it, not to make you personally like it. You can think whatever you want to. Ever since Pokemon made the leap to 3D, all the games started to look a bit samey to me. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed these games, but it just never felt like they had their own unique style. For example, pretend for 1 second that Pokemon Red and Blue were remade in the style of every single other generation. Oh wait a minute, it totally has, because Game Freak loves to remake this game. If you played all the main series Pokemon games and I were to show you a picture of Pallet Town, you would immediately know which generation it was from. Here it is in generations 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's the same town in each game, but with its own flavor and its own feeling. Now here's Pallet Town in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Imagine if they had made the Let's Go games back for generation 6 or 7. Pallet Town will look almost identical to what it looks like here. Sure, you could say that the graphics wouldn't be as polished, but that's about it. You could also make the argument that Gens 4 and 5 Pallet Town will look the same too, so it isn't something new. But even then, I would argue that all of the Pokemon sprites in the actual game would all be different, making it feel fresh, while all the 3D models for the Pokemon would be the same, whether it was remade in generation 6, 7, or 8. Except if it was remade earlier, it probably would have had all the Pokemon in it instead of just 150. But that's a whole different argument. Now with the Diamond and Pearl remakes, it looks way different than all the other 3D Pokemon games we've gotten to this point. Different though doesn't necessarily mean good, so if you were a fan of the 3D style Pokemon has had, I can understand the disappointment. But personally, just looking at these games, they look like 3D Pokemon games. It's like they got all of the sprites and made 3D models of them, all blocky and everything. Ever since X and Y, the character models have gotten skinnier and longer, instead of looking all squished and squared. The playable characters look more like Red in the intro of the game more than the actual playable Red. And I mean, that's not a bad thing, they're just going for a more realistic look, but I just personally prefer one style over the other. It's the same way in that I like the old chubby Pikachu more than the newer athletic Pikachu. Plus, I feel like Pokemon games work better with a less realistic style, as the way the world is structured isn't very realistic anyways, with towns made up of 3 houses and people standing around in one spot all day. This is usually made more apparent when they remake the older games to 3D, as they weren't made with being 3D in mind. Now in case y'all are wondering what I think about Pokemon Legends Arceus since it's styled more similarly to the past 3D Pokemon games, I think they look good so far with this look, because from the very little that they've shown, it seems to be going for the more realistic look while also making the world more realistic too. It's a great idea to make it set in a location we know but at a time we haven't been to. This means they can have less towns and cities, but actually fill them with more life, and it gives them more open space. It also helps that these games were being made with being 3D in mind. For the first time in about 5 years, Pokemon has got me really excited to be a Pokemon fan. Overall, it was a great presentation. Oh my goodness, Pokemon Presents, like presentation. I just got that. I always thought it meant Pokemon gifts for some reason. I'm sleep.